Yo, 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 Philosopher Stones. Once again, I am back with another episode exposing the CIA for some bullshit they did. Have I done that before? I don't know if I've done that before. I feel like I have. I feel like I'm a real fucking truth warrior over here, you know what I'm saying? Haha. Anyway, today we got MK Ultra, Mind Control Ultra. Funny that they used the German spelling of the word control, and years before all of this shit, Operation Paperclip happens, and we plant a bunch of Nazi scientists and doctors in our country and give them jobs. Important jobs. Jobs that involve torturing people. This is the story of the infamous mind control program of the Central Intelligence Agency in the 1950s and 60s. The Cold War threat of the Soviets had the CIA sweating, so of course, like remote viewing, in order to get the operation rolling with sufficient funding, all you have to do is tell them that the Russians are doing it. So we gotta do it. They feared that the American prisoners of war were gonna come back brainwashed, which some of them did. It's reports in multiple wars before this that, we had guys come back just completely brainwashed. Stockholm Syndrome. In 1953, CIA Director Alan Dulles gave the go-ahead and appointed Sidney Gottlieb the head of the project and sanctioned it. All of this was coordinated with the biological warfare labs that were connected with the drug experiments like Project Artichoke. The reason for this project was basically this. The drugs would be administered in combination with sleep deprivation, electroshock therapy, audio messages being repeated in images and movies. Another form of drug torture I read about was intravenously administering meth in one arm and some kind of barbiturate in the other. If you don't know what barbiturates are, well, they are super heavy nervous system drug that's like, it's really, 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 really heavy and gets you really fucking fucked up. Straight up CIA controlled speedballing. That's what this is, CIA controlled speedballing. Now, I suspect the early phases of MK Ultra were carried out in the Phoenix program in Vietnam by someone who will continue to pop up in anything psychological, military attacks, or Satan ritual abuse with kids. Michael Aquino from the Temple of Set. I did an episode on him already. This motherfucker shows up in all types of shit all over the place. So, take that what you will. So Project Bluebird, which became Project Artichoke, which is documented as the precursor to MK Ultra. But like I said, I feel like this MK Ultra shit started way before any of this, with things like Operation Paperclip. So if you dig deeper into the techniques of torture and brainwashing, Mengele definitely shared those with the CIA. Project Artichoke was the same drug torture stuff with forced morphine addictions and sleep hypnosis. So it's a lot of unbalanced combinations that would, in my opinion, drive someone absolutely insane. Artichoke also is said to experiment with viruses, specifically the dengue fever, which I'm guessing they'd give to these patients, and then see how they react to that. I don't know. To the virus, I'm not sure. Here's the name of a project. Operation Midnight Climax, which was umbrellaed under MK Ultra and was a program that was based around unsuspecting LSD trips. Guys would be lured to safe houses and dosed with acid. Then they were monitored and recorded through audio devices placed in the rooms and two-way mirrors where agents would watch the show. So it's voyeurism with LSD. Only the CIA, dude. Only the fucking CIA would do some weird fucked up shit like that and chalk it up to, the Russia might be doing it. Here we get to the juicy stuff. The murders. Here's a quote from the CIA website about Frank Olson, a doctor essentially with the program who died after being unwillingly dosed with LSD. Here's the quote. During this program, Dr. Frank Olson, a U.S. Army biological weapons researcher, was given the drug LSD without his knowledge, leading to his death by leaping from a building. DCI Richard Helms ordered much of the documentation destroyed, and the circumstances of his demise remain controversial till this day. Now, present day, there is proof or some kind of evidence saying there was foul play, So, as to my knowledge, this case has been reopened via the effort of his sons. So, go sons. Go Olsen sons. Now we get into the Montreal MK Ultra experiments with Donald Ewan Cameron. He's very popular on this subject when it comes to evil doctors. There's a Fifth Estate documentary I suggest you watch that covers this story pretty well. His concept was psychic driving. When the CIA decided to export the op over to Canada, that's when he became involved. Psychic driving is when they use audio-looped, repeated messages over and over and over to change the behavior of a patient. Usually while under LSD or an assortment of other fucked up drugs. So another thing where they speedball you, give you some type of message, and brainwash the fuck out of you. I mean, I just don't understand how any of this could come out as positive results. In 1973, Richard Helms had the majority of the documents containing the data of MK Ultra destroyed. But in 1977, 20,000 documents were found that were thought to be misplaced. So think about all the ones that weren't found. Probably only recovered a small fraction of what was really there before Helms had it all destroyed after Olsen jumped out the building. Now here's another mysterious death, that of William Colby. He was the director of the CIA from 73 till 76. He was also an overseer of that Phoenix program in Vietnam that Michael Aquino was most likely directing and given all the formats for torture and psychological brainwashing. William Colby went mysteriously missing in 96 after embarking on a solo canoeing trip. A day later, his canoe was found. Then about 2 weeks later, his body was found face down on a bank. The medical examiner, of course, said it was natural causes, a heart attack or some shit. His son said it could have been suicide because his father was guilty about all the things that he was responsible for during his time in the CIA. And on the contrary, Colby's late wife says suicide was not in his character. So his son saying, Dad could have fucking been guilty about all the shit he did, but his stepmom, Colby's late wife, is like, nah, he wouldn't have killed himself. So maybe Colby was having some deathbed feelings in the last years of his life. Like, maybe I need to talk more about this shit. And he got murked. But who knows? Not out of character for the CIA to silence somebody. So, it's got to be said, a lot of hippies and experimental types of folks were subjects in the CIA operation. People like Timothy OLeary. He's one of the dudes who talked about military-grade LSD and shit. Old Whitey Bulger, the Irish mobster, inspiration for the Jack Nicholson character in the Departed movie, and then the Johnny Depp biopic called Black Mass. He said he was being dosed weekly while in prison in Atlanta as part of this mind control experiment. So, who knows, maybe it was one of those things where he heard about this shit in jail and he was like, oh yeah, I did that. Here we go. Our boy Ted Kaczynski, class of Harvard 1962, the motherfucking Unabomber. He entered a psychological test program in 1959 over at his Ivy League school. This project was run by Dr. Henry A. Murray, who was supposedly a big shot psychologist. The tests were described as humiliation treatments. I guess that means they would embarrass the fuck out of the patients and see how they reacted to it. Like dose them with a bunch of acid and throw hot dogs at them while they're naked or some weird shit like that. And, yell shame, shame, shame while they throw honey mustard packets at their forehead. I don't know. What is that? What is a humiliation treatment? You tell me. You tell me, guys, what humiliation treatment is. Now I could go all day about this next topic because I found a bunch of shit, a bunch of kind of essays written about Project Monarch. I guess this is what we're experiencing now with V2K, which I'm not going to cover on this episode. I'm going to do a gang stalking episode where I cover more of the electronic stuff where they attack our brains with electromagnetic frequencies using the earth frequencies, and now I sound fucking crazy, so I'm just gonna stop. If you're interested in learning about Project Monarch right now, I'm gonna recommend and link a great podcast by my boy Dean, Up is Down podcast. I'm gonna put it in the description, the links to it. That dude put some time and effort into this podcast. He's got quite a few episodes on Project Monarch and MK Ultra, so I suggest you listen to it. So yeah, there we go. I mean, there's declassified documents. They've had to come forth about the shit. I don't know why this isn't common knowledge. Honestly, there should be a chapter in the history books and shit like that, learning about the government. Hey, we got Watergate, we got MK Ultra, we got Bill Clinton getting his fucking PP sucked, you know what I mean? We got all that shit. Maybe even throw an OJ in the books. Kato fucking Kalin. Alright, you know what it is, Philosopher's Stone. Damn, my glasses are crooked, I need to get shit. Alright, y'all. Thank you for watching. I'm gonna have some more ancient mystery shit coming up because that's what I like to do, and that's what I'm gonna get into. I appreciate y'all for watching, for real though. Go check out my other episodes. I got some content now that I can promote. Alright, Philosopher's Stone, thank you.